Hello guys and welcome to another video. In today's video we'll be wrapping up the year with a bang. We're going to talk about the 5 biggest controversies that happened in the gaming industry in this fateful year of 2020. It was difficult to condense all of them just into one video, but we did. But before continuing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, as we don't want you to miss out on a thing. As in any area of our lives, there is always controversy. We like controversy. And within the world of gaming, even more so. This isn't about the battles between the people from PC, Xbox or PlayStation trying to defend their interests, but rather, we're going to dive deep into the events that didn't go well or statements that are out of place, but also a few things that caught our attention and happened this year. Crunch will always be controversial within the video game industry, and this year we had 2 of the most notorious cases from, surprisingly, 2 very large studios. The first was undoubtedly the one carried out by Naughty Dog with The Last of Us 2. We think all that you need to know about this is summed up in this quote from one of the developers. "This game is really good, but at a huge cost to the people. Yes, we all work hard, but crunch takes it to another level." We read in an article that said one of the pipes of the building in which the developers worked collapsed and was within inches of killing the workers. Shocking. But this happened at 9 o'clock at night, and they shouldn't have been there. Mental health and rest are something essential that these people don't have. The developers of The Last of Us Part 2 were forced to do an excessive crunch and work for much more than they should have, and this was possibly due to the director Neil Druckmann. But hey, he won the award for Best Director, so silver linings and all that, right? Terrible. Many of these developers spoke to the media saying that there were hours that they were not paid for and they did not give food and encourage you to take breaks. But ultimately what they said was that the work had to be finished at any cost. But then comes the Game Awards and rewards him even after doing that. What the hell, right? The other most notorious case was the one of CD Projekt Red, doing something similar with the developers of Cyberpunk 2077. But in this case, at least, they did pay overtime and will share the benefits of the game among all of them, the usual policy of the Polish company. Meeting deadlines is always difficult, but there is always the right way to do it. It was the one piece of news that everybody tried to ignore, but that we could foresee. A lot of people wondered if the games would be more expensive on the next generation of consoles, and NBA 2K21 was the first to confirm those suspicions, saying that the game would cost €10 or dollars more in the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions. Other games offered free upgrading, but not in the case of the 2K studio, who, as soon as the consoles were released, announced the price increase. And not only because of the increase, but because of the people who paid the extra money had to see in-game advertising that they couldn't skip. Fast forward 2 months, and it seems that this strategy didn't go very well, because already the game was 50% off on many of the platforms. Jim Ryan, CEO, gave us one of these sentences of the year, not because of what he said, but because of the response it had from Microsoft. He basically said that the Xbox model with Game Pass is not sustainable at all because developing games cost millions of dollars, some more than 100 million, and that cost on a monthly subscription model is something that is not sustainable, at least for him. But here we can insert the laughing Spanish guy meme, because the next day Xbox announced the purchase of Bethesda for $7.5 billion. So obviously money is not a problem for them, and they must be okay with the subscription model. This was one of the biggest announcements of the year without question, but that wasn't the only controversial statement from the PlayStation boss. In that same interview, he also said that there would be a supply of consoles for everyone, absolutely no problem. And now, we will have a moment of silence for those tortured souls still waiting on their delivery. And then there's more. He said that the games prepared for PlayStation 5 were going to come out exclusively for PlayStation 5, and days later, it was confirmed that Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy or Horizon Forbidden West were going to come out on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. I'm beginning to think that we can't trust a word this guy says. The most polarizing game could not be missing from our list, and among many of the other controversies surrounding the game, we're going to be focusing on the one that The Last of Us Part 2 won the award for Game of the Year. Of course, this is going to get a lot of people fired up, us included, and really because we think we're more deserving winners. And yes, this does not mean that the graphics and gameplay aren't incredible, but that isn't the only reason why a game should win the award, and more so when all of the other nominees in the category had way better scores in Metacritic according to users, and The Last of Us Part 2 was the last on the list. But since those who vote are the journalists and we live in a world which political correctness has to be rewarded, therefore, this is the result. We'll just leave it there. Otherwise, we might say something we may regret. This one just scraped into 2021, but it fits this hellish year that the biggest controversy comes at the end. The Cyberpunk 2077 version on PC will only look really good if you have a high-end PC. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions are fine, but if you go to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, welcome to the House of Horrors. Because my goodness, what graphics and what performance. One of the things that is common to all versions of the game are bugs that are more plentiful than we expected, despite the fact that CD Projekt Red told us that there weren't going to be any, because that was the reason for all the delays. The controversy comes when they sold a game that was not prepared for all platforms, and until the day of release, we weren't allowed to see how it performed on all the different platforms. We thought it would be amazing, but only after seeing the gameplay that they wanted us to see, almost entirely running on high-spec PCs. The letdown only gets worse when we remember that Cyberpunk 2077 swept the Gamescom Awards, taking the award for Best Gamescom Game, Best Role-Playing Game, Best PC Game, and the one that seems totally ironic, Best PlayStation Game. The best of all is that these awards were awarded in August, when the press still hadn't been sent the console version to test, only the PC version. Impressive, right? Who's going to believe these awards after this year? And the Game Awards after The Last of Us 2 winning the Game of the Year. Exactly. These for us were the most controversial moments of the year. What do you think? What was the most important to you? Tell us down below in the comments. We really want to know your thoughts on this. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Adios.